today I am here with my friend Chad. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Of course. So, a year ago, we discussed a lot of things, and you basically fulfilled everything that you talked about. So, how does that feel for you?
It's crazy. Yeah, no, it was a year ago, and everything is just happening so greatly by the grace of God. I feel amazing about everything that has happened within this past year. A bunch has happened. I think last time when we spoke, I was working a full-time job while also working on my different entrepreneurial endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
And now this year, at the beginning of this year, I had the opportunity just to work on my entrepreneurial endeavors full-time and don't have to worry about the full-time job anymore. So everything is beautiful.
You're your own boss now.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so your entrepreneur endeavors, can you speak up on them?
Yeah, no, so it's a few different things. So MrDooProcess, that's my streetwear clothing brand that advocates for social justice, not only through the design, but by the mission as well. We have a mission of donating back 15% of every sale to various organizations that advocate for social justice. And I started this brand back when I was a junior in college because I was wrongfully arrested. I had to fight for almost a year to clear my name. And then throughout that year, I like to say I witnessed all of the injustices in the justice system. From a judge who looked at me as guilty before innocent to a public defender who did not want to give me the time of day. So after I was able to clear my name, I wanted to do something to share my story and then also the stories of others who were wronged by the system. And I thought what better way to do that than through fashion and then also activism. So that's currently the collection that is out right now for MrDooProcess, live on the website, on Instagram, check it out. Got it on me right now, you know.
I love
I'm a walking billboard, always gotta have my stuff on me. But yeah, that's MrDooProcess. And then Buffalo Fashion Runway, I started around last month this year with 4 other of my business partners, brothers. That is going beautiful. We had our first show in September of 2023. It was called The Confluence of the Arts. It was our first show together as a group, and then individually as well. We just never threw a fashion show, and the love in that room was immeasurable. We had around, I think, 200 to 300 people in the room for our first fashion show. We had put on probably around like 8 designers, 2 artists, a poet, in front of a crowd of like 200, 300 people. We got the backing of prominent organizations like the Virtual Penne, the Buffalo AKG Art Museum, Rich Products, West Shore, the list goes on, right? So like they believed in our vision because we believed in our vision so much. So we had that first show in September. Then we had a second show in February of 2024, so earlier this year. That was also amazing. That was beautiful. This time it was in Northland, and we wanted to go bigger this time, right? So it was called Black Carpet, and it was in relation to Black history. So we had different designers. I think it was around 10 designers create collections geared towards Black history. And this time we had around like 400 to 500 people in the room, right? And then along with like some of the sponsors that I named before, we also got new sponsors such as the Bills, right? Like the Bills supporting the fashion show in Buffalo. It's unheard of, right? So that was a beautiful thing. And just to do that with my brothers is nothing better than. And then also one more, sorry. Buffalo Fashion House, right? So like after Buffalo Fashion Runway started in September, we wanted to keep the ball rolling and do something other than like just runways, right? So we wanted to form this like establishment, this house. It's called Buffalo Fashion House, right? And like through Buffalo Fashion House, we'll provide workshops, talks to different aspiring creators and already established creators, right? So that's in the works right now. That would be a 501c3. We're currently housed under Boot Sector. But yeah, Buffalo Fashion House, Buffalo Fashion Runway, MrDooProcess. Let's see what else comes in.
In such a short time, how do you feel like you guys have succeeded so well?
The short time I say we succeeded so well is because like we all work in, I guess the word is cohesion, or maybe we all work in parallel, right? Like we are each good at something, and then together it just makes us like this super something, right? So like we all got different things. Like Iman, he's a guru of marketing, right? Kane, he's a creative genius, right? Rodney, fashion guru, fashion god, right? And then me, just with like my different entrepreneurial efforts and spirit, I feel like we all just come together and we form something bigger than all of us, right? And we all got the same goal, same vision of making Buffalo a better Buffalo, right? So we just get together every day. We talk every day. It's not a day that we go by without talking, whether it be like just like not arguments, but like just like debates on what's the better route to do things and stuff like that. But we always come together and we figure out what's best for the collective, so that we can keep going and continue to grow. Because like what we're doing is not just for us, right? It's for the community.
Right, you guys have been doing such a great job. I know I haven't been to any of the fashion shows. I'm sorry, but I have been to some of the events, and they are amazing events. I get so inspired every time I attend one. You guys really motivate me to do better, so I can only imagine how you feel yourself. And shout out to the team because I love all of you guys.
Yes.
What has it been like balancing both brands?
Oh, it's beautiful. So it's no complaints, right? Like this is a beautiful world that I live in, right? Just being surrounded by the arts, right? Because like with the fashion runway program, right, and DooProcess, they both have to do with fashion, right? So it's one girl is the other real girl, right? So it's not like it's like two totally different things, right? So like it's beautiful that they have similarities, and I'm able to help another sort of thing, right? So like with the Buffalo Fashion Runway shows, I'm able to put DooProcess in the Buffalo Fashion Runway shows, right? And that's just like more exposure for DooProcess, right? And also as DooProcess grows, I'm also able to talk about Buffalo Fashion Runway, Buffalo Fashion House, right? So I'm just blessed that they're similar in a sense.
What do you think the biggest struggle is between both of the brands?
Biggest struggle between both of the brands? You know me, so like I'm a real stress-free guy. I try not to let things bother me, so I can't really say there's like a struggle that I could point out, right? Because like I just try to make the best out of everything, right? So even like a negative situation, I try to turn it into a positive situation, sort of thing, right? And that was like the je ne sais quoi behind DooProcess, right? It was a horrible situation that happened to me. Instead of letting it bother me and like letting it affect the rest of my life, turned it into a positive thing, a tragedy to triumph, I like to call it, right? So any negative situation, I always just try to flip it, always try to see the positive in it, and then go up from there.
I like that. That's dope. I need to get into that mindset.
Yeah, it's just a lot of faith in the man above.
So do you pray every day?
I do pray every day. So I would say I'm not the most religious man, right? But I do believe in God. Pray when I wake up, pray before I go to sleep, pray with my food. Don't really attend church that often, but I do talk to the man above every day. I feel like I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I feel like he has a way and a route for me. I feel like everything's already written.
Has praying helped you like succeed in your life?
I don't necessarily pray for like and ask for things. I think I just like pray and I thank him for letting me wake up, let me eat, letting me get through the day, sort of thing. So I don't necessarily like pray towards and ask for like different things. I just like pray to just like thank him for like waking up and stuff like that.
Gotcha. What has been the biggest lesson in being in the fashion world?
Biggest lesson in being in the fashion world. I say an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So biggest lesson in being an entrepreneur is like consistency is key, right? So like, you just got to keep going with it, right? Because like I started DooProcess in 2019, and like I was working a full-time job throughout last year, so I was trying to balance the two. So like, I wasn't as consistent on DooProcess as I wanted to be because I was working a full-time job, and it was hard, right? Couldn't. Because like DooProcess is my passion, right? I know it could go far, right? Just from like the significance behind it to what it means to everybody, to like when I hear people tell me what they think it means and stuff like that, right? I know it could go far, right? So just like being consistent with it, and now that I have the opportunity to work on this full time, I've been very consistent about it, right? Because I don't want to go back to a 9-to-5 job, right? I want to be able to create my own schedule. And then also, I'll say to something that I always say too is never underestimate how much more important the execution is than the idea. So everybody can have an idea, but it's upon you to execute on that idea to bring it into fruition, right?
So how does planning work for you guys?
It's beautiful. Like I said, it's a team of 4 other people, right? So like when I was doing DooProcess, I was doing DooProcess by myself, right? So I had to rely on myself. I'm a reliable guy, but like it's just so much you can rely on me for, right? Sort of thing. But now that we got 4 other people, and we all got to lean on each other, sort of thing. It's so much easier because everybody has a brand underneath them as well, right? Like Kane, his brand is called New Sons, right? Clothing brand. Iman, Naikunami, Rodney, St. Dular. Right? So like we're all working in unison basically because we all essentially have the same thing. We always want to see each thing grow. So like with planning, say for instance like we're all housed under Buffalo Fashion House, right? So like if we're doing like a collection under Buffalo Fashion House for like a show, we're all working and collaborating on that collection for that show, right? And it features each of our brands in that collection. So like I say, like we work in unison, right? We all, I don't know, it's a blessing because we all have similar goals and we all working towards the same goals. So like it's easier to plan. It's not like we're working towards different things and we each got to go a different way. We're all working towards the same thing. So it's pretty.
You need a team. Can't get anywhere without a team.
No, I wouldn't say that too, because some people that got places without teams and stuff like that, but with a team, it makes it easier. It makes it 100% easier than just like having it just be you, right? Because like without this team, I would not have been able to take that leap into being comfortable into becoming a full-time entrepreneur, right? Because then it would have just been me. It was possible, but it would not have been as easy as it has been with this transition, with having an actual team. Because like these guys are my brothers, right? They're like my crutches, right? And I'm also their crutch as well. We can lean on each other to benefit each other.
Amazing. Do you guys see the runway growing, like team-wise? Do you see yourself expanding outside of just the four of you?
So it's 5 in total.
Yes,
You're good. Definitely, because like whatever when you want to grow a business, you got to grow the team, sort of thing. So like we'll always be there because like we started this thing, we love this thing, right? But like we feel like we already like the community, right? The community is Buffalo Fashion Runway, sort of thing, right? But yeah, as to like the actual team, we definitely want to bring more people on as we grow. Like model coordinators, like even though we had like people in the past that came and helped us. Shout out to like Derek, shout out to Just West, shout out to Alexia, shout out to Rachel Good. Like some people that were there from the first show, some people that were there from the second show. These are all like community members who just wanted to help us assist because they seen that we were doing something good. But yeah, no, we definitely want to bring more people on into like actual roles and stuff like that. And as we grow, as we get more funding and stuff like that, we'll definitely be looking into bringing more people onto the Buffalo Fashion Runway, Buffalo Fashion House team.
So proud of you guys. I want to cry every time you guys do something. It's amazing.
You're gonna make me cry.
What is the importance of networking in the entrepreneurial
industry? The importance of networking is key. Right, so like I'm from Brooklyn, right? Like I came to Buffalo for school in 2016. Graduated in 2020, and all of the people that I knew was from the city, and everybody went home. So I didn't really know anybody in the Buffalo community, right? But my senior year in college, I've always been an entrepreneur, right? Since young. I was selling candy in school. I was candy man of the year. Yeah, right. I was selling candy, I was shoveling snow, I was cutting grass, I was doing all of that, right? Always just wanted to find ways to help to make money, right? So I was always doing that. My senior year in college, that was following the year when I was wrongfully arrested. I had the MrDooProcess. I joined I wanted to do an independent study with one of my professors. An independent study is basically like a class that you take like one-on-one with the professor, and like they'll create like a course for you, sort of thing, right? So I did it with one of my economics professors, a guy named Eugene Chaz. He's a cool professor, so that's why I told him I had this brand, DooProcess, and I wanted to grow the brand, right? Can you do an independent study with me to help me grow the brand? He's like, yeah, for sure. So going into my second semester of my senior year, we're doing the independent study. He's like, he puts this bright orange piece of paper in front of me and says, win $10,000 New York Business Plan competition, right? I'm like, oh, shoot, this is tough. He's like, this is going to be the independent study. So I joined the business plan competition, and this was in 2020. Everything was supposed to be in person, but it ended up being virtual. But before that, we had took these, like the school, at Buffalo State, the Small Business Development Center, they offered like classes, I think it was like twice a week, to help you work on your business plan that you would pitch in the competition. So me and him would go there twice a week, and up until like things turned virtual. We go there twice a week. Then when things turned virtual, I think they held like virtual classes, and then we would do it through that way. And there's two parts of the competition. There's the regional part of the competition, then there was the statewide part of the competition. For the regional part of the competition, you had to place in the top two to make it to the state part of the competition, right? So I submitted the business plan pitch for the regional part of the competition, and I got second place, right? So besides being an entrepreneur my whole life, I was an athlete my whole life too, right? So like the second place just didn't sit right with me, right? Because like I feel like DooProcess, right? I feel like it's the best thing in the world, right? And of course I'm gonna think that's my brand, right? So like I feel like it's the best thing in the world. I was like, nah, no way, I got second place, right? So like for the state part of the competition, I went that much harder. I revitalized, revamped the whole thing, right? and I ended up getting first place in that competition by the grace of God. But through that competition, other than winning the prize money, I also was able to network. They had a networking part of the competition, right? And I see this as way more valuable than the prize money, right? I met a guy named Hugh Schwartz in the networking part of the competition. His wife was a patent attorney, and they did my trademark pro bono. That's just from me and him talking, right? Like, just regular stuff, right? Met a guy named John Osberg. He actually went to Niagara University. You know John, and you know John. I met John Osberg, brother, mentor to me till this day, right? Mm-hmm. That competition was like 4 or 5 years ago now. Met a lady named Marty Levine, CEO of Launch New York. That's how I got my job. That's what kept me in Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. I met countless other people through just like networking and talking to people, right? Even with like the Urban League of Young Professionals, after I graduated from college, like I said, I didn't know anybody in Buffalo. I joined the Urban League. I started meeting people in Buffalo and young professionals at that, right? So like, I feel like this networking is key. As cliche as it is, your network is your network.
Has this journey taught you anything about yourself?
I feel like I would say to keep going, but I've been going. Like, right. I've been doing that. Right? I feel like I know myself. I ain't really teach me much.
Like, is it any time like you had to sit and reflect on yourself? Like, okay, like I need to work on this, or I need to keep going with this, do better at this. Anything.
Taught me how to be a better leader.
Taught you how to be a better
leader. Yeah, because like I didn't have a team before, right? So just like working with different types of people and stuff like that. It's a learning curve, right? Like everybody's not the same sort of thing, right? So like somebody may having a bad day, you gotta understand and how to navigate that bad day sort of thing, right? So definitely taught me how to be a better leader.
I like that.
Thank you for making me think about that. I did not know that answer. I said thank you for making me think about that because I didn't know that answer at all.
Of course. What advice do you have for anyone planning to go into fashion or to be an entrepreneur?
Definitely. So like with the arts and stuff like that, typically they say like artists don't get paid and stuff like that, right? So like I definitely say learn the business first, so like you find different ways to help support your fashion and your arts habit, right? Sort of thing, right? So just like learn the business behind things, learn how to sell yourself, learn how to create a brand for yourself, because like that's what eventually will win over the hearts of the people. And then also, like I said earlier, never underestimate how much more important the execution is than the idea. No matter how good your idea is, without you executing on it, it'll just be an idea. Talk to everybody. My older brother told me, no matter how many no's you get, you always get like a yes eventually, sort of thing. Stay consistent, believe in yourself, believe in your brand, and just have faith. Do what you got to do. The right things will come if you keep working towards it. I was talking to you, Jack.
I know. Can you tell us anything coming up between both brands, or is it a secret?
Definitely. I've been waiting for this question. All right, so boom, right? Like I said, the process, fashion and activism is out now. Make sure you go grab it. I didn't even grab it yet. Fake friends. Fashion and activism, FNA collection is out now. Please go check it out on the website, DooProcess. Photo shoot will be dropping soon, right? That's for DooProcess. For Buffalo Fashion Runway, we came up on our year anniversary celebration. July 16th, we'll be having a year anniversary party at Soho on August 17th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Be there or be square. It's going to be a good time. First 50 people will get free drink tickets. We'll have live screen printing going on of creating like custom shirts. You get to make your own shirt basically. We'll have a photo booth station. We have a photo booth station. We'll have good vibes, good people, good fashion. Be there. And then also, Emergence. Buffalo Fashion Runway Emergence. We haven't dropped the date yet, but please follow the page on Instagram at Buffalo Fashion Runway. We'll be dropping the date and then tickets to our next fashion production called Emergence. Check it out. It's going to be a good one. You're going to make me cry.
Well, that wraps up today's interview. Nice. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you a lot. And again, I'm so proud of all of you guys. You don't know, you inspire me to be better every day. So, yeah, tune into the next episode. I don't know when, but yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.